Thank you for staying with us, and we are on to our next discussion. The Nigeria Governors Forum has set up a committee to look into the possibility of state policing.
And there's been a campaign for restructuring Nigeria with the creation of state-controlled police as part of the demands. Now, this was part of the decisions of the NGF, that's the Nigeria Governors Forum, at a 4-hour meeting attended by the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris.
The committee noted that the police are having so many difficulties with funding and have agreed that with the way things are going through the budgeting process, funding the police will be a big challenge.
Right, that's our discussion next. State police to be or not to be? Why the trepidation? Why so many people scared about it, while others are calling for it as urgently as possible? Well,
Section 214, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution states that there shall be a police force for Nigeria, which shall be known as the Nigerian Police Force, and subject to the provisions of this section, no other police force shall be established for the Federation or any part thereof.
Okay, does that take care of that question then? Well, in Section 215, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution, it was stated that the Nigeria Police Force shall be under the command of the Inspector General of Police, and any contingent of the Nigeria Police Force stationed in a state shall, subject to the authority of the IGP, be under the command of the Commission of Police of that state.
Now, is it time to decentralize Nigeria's police? Note that Nigeria didn't used to have a central police force. Let me take you to my wall now to show you how it was before independence in the country.
Okay.
This promises to be interesting, because when you thought the Nigeria police was always in place since independence in 1960, but it actually was not so. Now, the history of the Nigerian police dates back to 1861, where it began with a 30-member consular guard in the Lagos colony. Now, this was followed by a 1,000, you can see that, just 30-member consular guards, and then it's metamorphosed in 1879 to 1,200 paramilitary Hausa constabulary then, and then the Lagos police, the Niger Coast Constabulary in Calabar, as well as the Royal Niger Company Constabulary in Lokoja, followed subsequently. And you can see the list here from the Lagos Police, then the Niger Coast Constabulary Calabar, and then the Royal Niger Company Constabulary. So the Nigeria before history now was washed with some kind of community police, state police that is where, but they were working hand in glove with the police force at the center at that time. Now, all these units were collapsed into two: the Northern Nigeria Police and the Southern Nigeria Police during the amalgamation of the Northern and Southern Protectorate in 1994. The two were merged together in 1994, and then that was when Nigeria came to be really one country. Well, they were merged to form the Nigeria Police Force in 1930 after Nigeria attained independence in 1960. Now, the Nigeria Police Force was first regionalized and later centralized. So it was a long history. So let's take a look now at what obtains in other countries. In the United States of America, for example, now the federal government owns the Federal Bureau of Investigation, that's widely known as FBI. And of course, then the police forces or departments are owned by the states. That's why you have, for example, the police in New York, New York Police Department, NYPD, LAPD. Different states have their own police departments in the United States. Now, the United Kingdom, Australia, Spain, Canada, Brazil, and even India all operate the same policing system. And so brings me back to that question. Is Nigeria not ripe enough, or is it ripe enough for state police? We have our guest now in the studio, Chuks Nwoko, to talk to us more about this. Good morning to you, Chuks, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, and you might even want to throw in the mix. So what will it take for Nigeria to be ripe for state police? Now, Chuks Nwoko, with what Aziza just read there, Nigeria Police was first regionalized, and then we went into this central or centralized police force that we're trying to extricate ourselves from. Abubakar Sav, former IG, says state police will spell doom for the country, while the present IG, Ibrahim Idris, said Nigeria is not ripe.
Absolutely.
Absolutely what?
We're not ripe for it.
Really?
Why?
Okay, why do you think so?
We are, some of our political class people are so infantile in their attitude and in their behavior. Some of us ordinary citizens don't behave well enough. We just have some basic issues we need to address. And like you said, what I actually wanted to respond to quickly was what you said, what will it take? It's going to take time.
Also, why are we not ripe enough? You said there are some reasons. Give us the reasons.
Yeah, but I just told you, it's going to, if we're going to have state policing, it's going to, you know, your first question, even though it was, you responded to, it's going to take time.
Yes.
How much time more?
You and I don't know that. When the time comes, nobody's going to tell you that it's time for state policing.
You said some measures should be put in place before we arrive. So I want you to tell us some of them.
We're badly behaved. We have our
well, can you generalize that all Nigerians badly behaved?
I said some of us are badly behaved. You know, I won't even be off mark when I say that we're all badly behaved. It's become a culture. Look, let's not beat around the bush. We've completely jettisoned those things that held the fabric of society. They were just ordinary values of integrity, of hard work, of respect, of education, of, you know, dignity of labor, of family name, those things that held us together. So we self-policed ourselves. We went to the farm, left our farm produce on the roadside. After school, we went to go pick them up. Do you understand? Because you can't be found stealing somebody's yam or stuff. Your family name will be soiled. On the roads here in the city, people just go abroad, they behave well. When they come back here, on the highway, they are making phone call and texting. Right. So
how does that negate the need for state police at this time?
Well, it does not, but what I'm saying is that those are the fabrics that you need to put, those are corruption cases anyway. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because you do not need anybody to tell you to do the proper thing. So we're constantly putting pressure on police in doing some of the things that we needed to do without anybody teleguiding us. For instance, what is integrity? Integrity is doing something that is proper and right without anybody telling you, without anybody watching over you. So you do not need police to tell you to get out the road that because you want to make a phone call. You park by the roadside. Some of the things that we get the police involved with, we have so many of our police people manning our politicians. Do you understand what I'm saying? We are not matured for it. This thing has been in the airway for such a long time.
And those, what you just pointed out now, and those are the very reason why we actually need something like a state police.
No, the reason you don't need
some would even argue that saying that Nigeria is not ready for state police is like saying Nigeria is not ready for democracy. If we're going to wait for everything that makes for a good society to be in place for us to have a state police, then we might as well throw out all the other institutions that make any society work.
Because we hear it is the fulcrum of true federalism.
The palpable evidence of what you see is the reason why you don't have, why you should not have state police. Those things that I said. Because if you have state police, right, you and I will not be safe. The reason the particular class that you mentioned that we're meeting for 4 hours are the ones, because they need it to be able to keep them, to do what they have things that they want to do that only state police can enable them to achieve.
Like what?
Like what? They have political enemies. They probably want to, I don't know.
But governors are the chief security officers of their states.
This set of governors that just had this meeting are not the first set of governors that have governed those states, and they will not be the last. So the question you need to ask is that, why is it this
same as the center, the federal government level? And of course, that there are always arguments.
Have they paid salaries? How are they going to fund the state, the state police that they're asking for? Have they paid salaries?
Some would argue with you that they've been funding the police. The police anyway.
Lagos State, for example, and
so many other states.
Imagine if Lagos State had deployed those donations to other areas of our state development. Take the amount of money that Fashola donated before he left. I don't want to give a wrong figure. Is gargantuan. If he had put into infrastructural development, if I don't know how much this governor, the present governor, has donated. Imagine if that has been deployed in finishing the Badagry Express Road or the railway, whatever. What would be happening on that axis of Lagos? Okay,
now you have kidnapping going on in Ekpe, in Ikorodu. You have cult killings going on in those places. Do you need an IGP to solve that problem, or you need a state police?
What you need is community policing, which I have noticed is going on now. We have always had state community policing. Instead of state police, what you need is community policing, which we already have. We have had community policing in the last how many years? And how does it work? If you go to the area where you live in Lagos, there's either a police station near you or an outpost. The police guys that are there are familiar with you. They've been there for such a long time. They're familiar with all the keke drivers and Okada drivers. They know where you live and all that. So if anything happens within that area, they know people by name. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They've been there long enough. You are familiar with them. Alausa here, I know some of them. They are my friends. And they go around ShopRite and all those things, doing surveillance. So crime and criminality is minimized.
Okay.
So, but when the political class start demanding for state police, you better be careful.
All right, so the IGP said the Nigeria Police Force needs about 1.3 trillion naira to function effectively. Let's look at the way police is funded, apart from that demand from the IGP now. A typical police recruit in Nigeria, after training, would have to buy some things for himself. After giving the basic uniform, he could spend his own money to buy belts, some boots, some socks. Go to police colleges across the country. They are in dilapidated conditions. How much are police officers paid? The recruits, the corporal.
How
much are they paid? And these are under the federal government.
Yes.
So, don't you think if, of course, like she said earlier, state governments donate a lot of money to the federal government already?
Excuse me, ma'am. How do you run your personal economy? If you're paid 1 million naira every month or every week, it will still not be enough for you. But whatever you get from here every month, you are able to use it, right? That's how nations
Remember, they are transferred across the country.
Hello. That's how nations and companies are run.
Okay.
You look at your resources, you look at the outlets, you look at your inflow. Do you understand what I'm saying? If we're having financial challenges, look at areas where you can shut down one arm of the National Assembly. We don't need it. Corruption in Nigerian police has been, I don't know how to describe it. It defies discussion as far as I'm concerned.
All right, you know what, Chukwu, we'll just hold on a bit. Let's bring in some more information. But maybe before I even say that, you know, somebody once said, fire cooks the man's food, and fire can also cook the man.
It's your friend and it's your enemy.
All right, now according to Idris, who of course is the present Inspector General of Police, the country is one of the least paid, that's the police in the country is one of the least paid security organizations in the world, in spite of operating under the UN ratio of 1 police officer to 400 citizens. And
with the current ratio of 1 officer to 602 Nigerians, that is where the Nigeria police are operating far below the United Nations ratio.
Now, about 10,000 police officers have been recruited recently to fill the gap, but the IG says it is still a far cry because the country needs an additional 155,000 police officers for the next 5 years to meet up with the UN ratio of 1 to 400.
Meanwhile, Ibrahim Idris, that's the IG now, says the current police management is making efforts to establish structures that would bridge the communication gap between the police and members of the public. Well, of course, we hear that police is your friend, but if you ask many Nigerians out there, they have one gory story to tell about the police force in the past.
I have a gory story to tell about police as I sit down here. Okay. And I'm glad that we don't have a state police because of what is going on. In my family, we have a member of my family who a few years ago donated vehicles and what you have to the police in my state, not knowing that he was eyeing extra 90 hectares of land outside of the 33 that he already has. So when my family says no to him, he has overrun my town with the state police. So imagine, and we ran to Abuja, we ran to Benin Zone, then we ran to Abuja. We've been calling all Nigerians to come and help us, and I'm making this public, that we need help. Now imagine if we had state police.
Isn't that a problem that would have been solved at the local level? And the issue that Azizat raised earlier, the issue of funding, which the IGP has been crying about, is it not because the police is centralized, highly centralized for that matter, that you have this gaping hole in terms of funding? I don't think so. I think it's an issue of dwindling economy, corruption. And corruption is not just when you take money or steal money that does not belong to you. There's endemic corruption in our system. How do you go and employ people or recruit people who are not qualified to be recruited? That's corruption. How do you take money that is meant for people to feed in police colleges and put in your private pocket and share it and assume that you will never be found out? How do you take money for renovation of hostels for the police?
But there's no corruption. It's not just in the Nigeria police that there's corruption.
Well, because we're discussing police, I'm narrowing into police. But these are issues. Now, for me, the issue of finance is creativity. If you are having issues with your finances and all that, you need to look inwards. I have to give up a lot of things in my house and my business. I have to give up a lot.
What more can the average Nigerian police officer give up?
With the salary they're getting?
That question will be meant for the IG. What can you look at? What donations can you ask for? If Lagos State is able to raise funds from, they have a foundation. They have a guy who sits on top of that foundation, security foundation.
Trust fund.
Yeah, trust fund. Those are the things, because we are each other person's helper. We need to help ourselves. Raise funds. Because you have legitimate reason to raise those funds, people will donate. Our politicians, the people in National Assembly, they have a lot of money. They are not setting up companies. So those money are in raw cash in their bedrooms or whatever. Let them donate part of it.
Meaning the federal government doesn't even have the financial capacity to fund the police
Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that in future the economy will not improve in such a way that we cannot fund it. You cannot be reactionary all the time. Because my economy is bad now does not mean we will not be better next year. Do you understand what I'm saying? We can't continue to agitate all the time. We must always look inwards. We must be creative in our thinking, in our finances, in the management of whatever we have. It's not rushing into state police. We're going to run into trouble and start another agitation to go back to where we used to be.
Okay, let me quickly make a point I was about to make before. That yes, of course, you already said it here that some governors would misuse the state police.
Definitely.
But then recall in the past, in this same Nigeria, the Nigeria police force was in the eye of the people now misused in, for example, Rivers State, when Rotimi Amechi was the governor of the state. You recall what the commissioner of police did, even when Nigerians were complaining about his conduct. I recall that. So is it about state misusing power? Has the federal government not misused the Nigerian police force so many times now?
They have. Is that why you're going to create another problem? The Amechi problem didn't it come to an end? Do you understand what I'm saying? The Amechi, we were over. Today, where is the guy? When you misuse your power, you're going to pay for it. Space and time will make you pay for it. Nature even will make you pay for it. But you're not going to say, you are not going to react to Amechi's issue with the former commissioner of police and then create state police and create problems all over the place. Because as human beings, if you give me excessive power, there's no evidence anywhere that I will not misuse it. How do you control me when you give me such enormous power? We already have problems. Why don't we just deal with the problem we have than escalating and multiplying it? Why do you want to do that?
Let's bring in, we have another guest who will be speaking with us via phone. He's a security expert, Dennis Amakre. Good morning and thanks for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning. How are you today?
Very well, thank you, and hope you are doing good yourself. I wonder what you make of our guests here in the studio, Chuks Nwoko's position, saying that we're only going to end up creating more problems with state police if we should allow that to happen. What's your take?
I don't think I agree with him because Nigeria is overripe for state policing. The reasons he's given about corruption and all those stuff are part of what we're already used to. We're already used to all those things. Now the basic reason of splitting the police is because of its unitary structure. You know, we have an Inspector General of Police in Abuja sending people from Sokoto to Calabar to go and police that area, an area that it does not even understand. We need a state police which will be sourced by people from the local area. We've been talking about community policing, and these people should know the community they are policing. Besides that, we are referring to the United States. The United States, you know, is the same thing where they have state police, they have local government sheriffs. Even the university I attended, all the universities in America have university police. Now, what is the difference? The difference is because they all have their responsibility as spelled out by the Constitution or the decree or bill that set them up. A state policeman is not going to, there are federal offenses, there are state offenses, there are local government offenses. And these offenses are carried out by, if it is in the local government, by the sheriff. If it's a case in the university, for instance, the university police will handle it. If it is a federal offense happening in the university, he will transfer it. That's why you see them calling in the FBI, because everybody has his own boundaries. Now the fear by many people is that it's going to be controlled by the governor, it's going to be controlled by money bags and stuff like that. No, the idea is that they are going to be restricted to the laws that formed them.
All right.
So I think we better understand this.
Dennis, what about possible misuse of the state police by governors?
Well, is the federal police not being misused right now? The federal police is being misused by government right now. So we need to have, the laws have to be strengthened that set them up, and they should restrict themselves to it.
All right, Dennis Amakri, we'll have to thank you for joining us and sharing your thoughts with us on this particular issue. Dennis Amakri is a security expert. Thank you so much. Okay, back to you here in the studio, Chuks. Nwoko. Look, okay, you're shaking your head.
Look, the first remark this guy made is that the IG sends people from Sokoto to Calabar.
Yes.
And he mentioned America. The American police officer is blind to your culture, where you come from. He's completely not interested in where you come from.
Is that a function of what?
Cohesive. A function of the fact that we have endemic issue of ethnicity, or I don't know how to describe it. I'm sorry to use that word. That I should describe it. We have issues that we should deal with here. When I'm looking at you, Ngozi, inside my mind, I'm seeing you as an Igbo person, not. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Not a Nigerian, not a human being.
Yes. So it's wrong for the IG to send somebody to Calabar simply because it's from Sokoto. But if you're in the state of Texas or California...
Is that what Dennis really meant, or the fact that, look...
That is his opening remark. That's the first sentence that he made, that the problem is that the IG sends somebody from...
What he said was that it's a localized problem, and so for you to have the IG send somebody from far away to solve a problem...
There has to be someone that knows the terrain
But he didn't tell you what would have happened if you took him, Dennis, maybe it's from River State or whatever. You take him from one ethnic group in River State to another to go as a police officer to go and solve a problem in Kana from Bokiri, that he will be accused of being used.
Isn't that the more reason to have state police?
No, that's the more reason you shouldn't have it. Because every time we are addressing each other, we are addressing each other from the basis of ethnicity and tribe and by
Okay, I said something earlier. Fire can cook the man's food, and fire can also cook the man. Now, should we say that fire is bad? And that's it.
Fire is good, just like you can't give it to a child. Let's address our problem. We have deep-seated problems. When you go and add this state police to it, you will be the ones that would rather be running here, or you are asking for reversal. I am telling you, my name is Chuks Nwoko. I have a Nwoko, a Ned who is harassing me and my family, the family where I come from, with state police. And I'm telling you, on national television, imagine if we didn't have area the AIG in Zone 5 Toronto or Abuja Toronto. What would have been? It would have taken over the place. The problem is deep-seated. We need to deal with what we have now, because we will always have problems anyway. In any society where you have human relations, you will always have problems. Why are we always shifting the goal? Deal with the problems and live with it.
All right.
And if we're going to have state police, over time, it will evolve. But I don't think it's given to our generation. We are playing fast. Is
Nigeria better off with a central police system?
We are not matured enough for it.
Or maybe, like William Shakespeare said, the fault is not in our stars, but in ourselves. We'll have to leave it there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much as a public affairs analyst.
Thank you.